Most welcome to the Voice of Evolution. I am Preview actually, and that name was coming forward from seeing many sceneries on the airplane like 10 years ago and predicting how many viruses would pop up on the earth. So here I dig a lot into the psychology as a psychotherapist, into the biology of Earth, the ecology, and of course psychology of the human being. Because if we go back into what really means is if we cannot breathe authentically, we get depressed. If we cannot breathe many miles outside of our bodily functions and energy fields, we get into a state of repression, compulsion, control. So if we cannot bring the oxygen of the body all the way through the brain to the tissues, to the details of our organs, and bring them alive as they are meant to be, because we are all star systems, we are all light configurations and those light waves coming into birth. As I remember a long time ago, I could hear and see all these freaks around my little body. I was thinking, where the hell did I land? So, at that young age, or maybe like 10 minutes after birth, I was already realizing I had an assignment here on the airplane. I had something to do, because from the light I was coming down into an embodiment where I would experience some light into the gates of Earth, where everything became very dark through technology. And so here I was awakening already my passion, like at age 12. Like, something is definitely wrong here. I cannot eat and think and do whatever I want. So I was already realizing that every sort of freedom had been taken away. And so that viral loop of emotional control created actually a lot of traumatic bonding, which is happening on a large scale on social media, YouTube, and all that, holding you in their particular sphere of influence. Here I'm particularly talking really to alternative media that is even holding you, like the newscast or anything in casual media, like the daily news and all that, these false streams. It's all the same if you think deep. So we are really dealing with massive manipulation to massively damaged brains called the mind. And when we cannot breathe really like an open whirlwind through the body and give our body that high nutrition that comes through light air, we get into the levels of fear where they can control that massive computer that you have in your brains. So when the loss of oxygen is running high, which we can also see when hospitals are opening these respiratory systems to people that are even worse, because they push the system to a level where the bloodstream actually cannot take any oxygen anymore. So it kills all life and actually needs to repair the life stream. So everything in the medical industry is running on the inversion, and they actually know it. I mean, we don't have to be that clever or be a scientist to realize how it works, right? So I've heard also that we have that particular ACE receptor mechanism in the circulation system of the heart. And so when the hemoglobin in the bloodstream has been cut off, they just push that to a level where the environment is being cut off even. So that is like a loop that cannot be repaired. So uh, it is obvious that we did not make the moves, or that public health didn't make the moves that were required. Because if we look at the ecosystem and how that has been going in mass destruction actually, then we can see that when we cut off the wheat, that we cut off the natural resources, the water flow, the air flow, yet we lost that particular technique that is called a light technique to breathe all the way into many sources and forces in the universe. That education obviously has been cut off because it's better for us not to know, not to have knowledge and intelligence. While knowledge and intelligence are two factors in the brain of faculties that need to be open like a wildfire, and then we can actually repair practically everything on this airplane. So if we look at the shape of hemoglobin in the blood circulation, we can see how much that the high level agriculture residues have been infused. We can see that the air pollution is high level poison through cyanide. We can see the dying soils in pretty intense areas like China and also like Africa, for example. The natural resources have been cut off and are breeding pure poison. So through that kind of biological ecological system, we can possibly bring a return to health. So we are living high level into the revolution of the evolution, meaning we need to bring brains together and stop the killing fields of the eco-biological systems, stop killing the weeds, stop killing the natural factors in the biology of the earth. And because the earth is so clever, the lungs of the earth are actually exploding like, hey, the volcanoes need to come out. There has always been viruses, and just, to balance out everything, to balance the beauty of Earth out. Because if we keep on killing the ecosystem, we keep on killing the human system. That is quite a high level of logic, yet the airplane has no logic left. So here it's up to the humans to rise beyond all that nonsense and take responsibility. So because the air of the earth that adapts very easily to pure airflow, and we can see through the massive lockdown how the air opens up in high altitude areas on the planet already. So it is a high call, like, to step real big time out of your laziness and start taking responsibility in repairing at least the air in the body, repairing your lungs. And with the repair of your lungs in the body, the oxygen can reach every single detail in your tissues and your organic construction, we can start we pairing with our very breath, the earth plane, nature, the ecosystem. And so that requires, of course, a very, very high level balanced plant-based diet, because everything that comes from these pigs that are in very small cabins and being enslaved actually, and cows and name it, all that moves into the soil with what they leave through their breath, urination, all that stuff is high level toxins, because these animals cannot hold on to that treatment anymore. Neither can the earth hold on to every release they make in certain areas of the planet. So if we can see from a different point of view and see that we actually created that fear, fearlessness has nothing to do with fear of failure, of success, and all those business things. Okay, we need to sustain ourselves, but it's so much based on all that entrepreneurship that we forgot about ourselves, because sustainability and living fearless comes from the first place in sustaining the body to the highest level of health, and that is taking care and teaching yourself the technology of light and getting into your authenticity. So I remember, like 2 months ago, I had a test to my bloodstream, and because I was overworked, and so they couldn't figure out what virus I had in my blood circulation. Of course they could not figure it out, because I'm a light entity. I work with viruses all of the time. I mean, I merge with the natural system of gnomes, so there is no problem at all. The only virus I had was coming, or termed, the media virus, stressed out media virus. So I cut on all the news for 3 months now. I don't know what's going on out there. I'm perfectly healthy, perfectly fit. There is no problem, but I had a big laugh about it just to test them, and test the lies. So if we can see that your own mindset was being killed through the environment, through the language you have been learning through your parents, teachers, name it, to everything you heard. Everything is language. It's a very high sensitive thing, that language. And when that, your authentic language, has been killed, there is a moment in time when your immune system cannot cope anymore. It cannot catch up with unnatural systems that come to the food, that come particularly to what keeps you alive, which is pure air, the oxygen. And once you learn about taking care of yourself and opening up your energy fields back into the light fields and creating that light body right here on earth, your energy and the various light energy breathing systems that come through the respiratory system can literally kill anything that is off and assist the ecosystem. So how wonderful is that? Understanding that energy is just consciousness, we can override any level of fear to that when we pairing the breathing system. So my other question would be, what will you do with the second wave coming out in September, October, moving into the winter? Vaccines are not going to work, because the cellular construction, as the earth is ascending and we are ascending with the earth, cannot keep up with the slowness of any medication, certainly not injections. So here we are part of that system, and we need to gather right now and take that responsibility. So I'm opening up many levels to cut out the fear that has been embedded in your system, also to allow people I mean, this earth is going crazy. Letting people die alone, that is really criminal, right? So all the constitutions that we have in governments were equally killed. So there's hardly anything left that runs on a natural mechanism. So we absolutely should be glad that all of that came out. So we have given the time to repair anything that cuts off our brain capacity. And so here we need to get into a new system in which or where we can reabsorb the purity, the beauty, and the many levels of eternal, immortal air. And how to do that, that takes some time in the body to get there, but understanding it is one thing. So we really need to move into that level of understanding and give ourselves the capacity to understand that all fear, no matter what label you put on fear, it's a label, can be moved out of your glandular construction in the first place, because that is where it sticks really. And when you get that out, I will doing a free meditation on releasing the fear, so you can start to feel how a light technique can be simple and how it can relieve in a few minutes time so many pumped up stuff in the body. And from there on, I'll open up to really recreating that light embodiment that we truly are, that requires light food, light air, light earth, light water, light fire, light elements in all cases. And after that, I mean, our entire geographic system, our genes, will move with ease and grace along and in perfect balance with the ecosystem. And that is the return of light earth Atlantis that we are experiencing. So let's break through that, enjoy that particular meditation on releasing the first levels of your fear in the body and experience that relief. Experience especially how easy it is. After that, there's many courses I could give on bringing back the authentic self and moving into really the origin of instant manifestation. So here, hope to keep it up, and click the bell, run my videos through, command, and especially communicate what is on your mind and bring it out, because we are the ones who will bring through the repair. Thank you so much. Bye.